For no reason. They extorted him, brutalized him, and here is his own story. Please watch this.
How are you, my brother? What is your name? Okay. Today, 6/1/2025. What happened between you and civil defense officers?
I was coming from my sister's shop this morning. So
which of your sister?
My sister.
What's your name?
So alongside Agilosun opposite Kawashi Market. So civil defense, they were topping their tire alongside with Foga. So when I was,
you can speak Yoruba as well.
When I was coming from, let me just say Agilosun alongside Agikolopo junction, and they have to stop me and my sister, and they asked me where am I coming from. I have to tell them that I'm coming from my sister's shop, and where are we going to? I said we are going to school because I wanted to go and pay for my school fees, and I'm looking for a house to rent because we have entered, we have resumed.
Which school is that?
Ekiti. So they were asking me that, what am I? They were asking me that, who are you? I said I'm a student, and they said where am I going to? And I explained to them. So after that, they checked my bike, they checked everything.
This is the bike, right?
Yes. And they can see my ID card. They can see everything inside the bag. So one of them asked me that I should go and see their boss, and I said okay. When I got into the car with them, so their boss collected my phone, and instantly he was checking all my mobile app. He clicked on everything.
Were you the one who was opening your mobile app, or they were the one opening it themselves?
The phone is in his hand.
They collected it forcefully?
Yes, he collected my phone, and they asked me to open it. I was trying to collect his phone to open it myself. He said no.
Open it like the password?
Yes, the password. Okay. So I said no. He said no. He has to put the phone on my face so that my phone is going to be unlocked. So when everything unlocked, he went through all my mobile app, both my Kuda, OP money points, and he saw nothing because I have zero. I have nothing in my account. So he was asking me that where do I keep my money? I said I don't have any money alongside with me because they tried to check all the phones, and they found my Fidelity Bank. Whereas my mom sent me school fees around 24th of December for my school fees, and we are paying 138,000 for our school fees, and our acceptance fees is 47,500. Alongside with my house rent and everything is there. And I told them that this morning I was not the one that got to myself that it's for my school fees and my house rent. They said he doesn't have any business to do with me, that he's going to take me to the office. So when alongside we are going to the office, he was telling me that when he called me in the first place, he told me that okay, what are we going to do now before he took me to the office. I said, sir, I don't have anything. He was just trying to tell me, okay, let's go to the office then. We are going to go.
Why was he telling you that he will take you to the office? Did he tell you any offense you've committed?
No, I did not offense any. I did not offense him because I was just going. Me and my sister was just going to the school because we were alongside of Agilosun, and that's the expressway. So I don't think expect they are going to stop me on the expressway. So they have to walk into the road and stop me. So when I stopped, they asked me that, and I explained everything to them. They even checked my bike and they found my ID card. And they found my ID card.
Where is the ID card?
ID card is here.
You show them your ID card that you are a student, or
yes.
what?
Yes, I'm as a student. This is my ID card as a student. So that from Ekiti.
Okay.
So after that, when I got to their office, so we meet their boss, and the thing that what he said is that he said, why do you took this guy alongside? They said they said nothing. So and the next thing is that their boss told me that give him back his phone and give him back his key so that he should release him. So after that, when I was coming back, they stopped me at the gate to sign and to pay for the release. So that's all.
Release of?
I don't know. They just told me that they have already written my bike number and everything. They have already written.
How much did you not pay in the office?
I paid them 2,000.
2,000. Okay. When they stopped you here at Agilosun that you are talking about, did any of them ask for your phone?
Yes, immediately they stopped me. They didn't even allow me to say any other thing than to ask for my phone, and they collected my phone immediately. So after that, they took me into their car, and they said they are going to carry me to their office. So
for what?
I don't know my friends. They just took me. They said you are carrying to the office. I said, what did I do? They said when you get to the office, you are going to explain yourself what you did. I said, okay, sir. So alongside when we were in the car, they started checking all my mobile apps. They click on my Kuda, OPay, money points, they fund nothing because I don't have any money in my account. The only money I have in my account is in my Fidelity Bank, whereas that's the money my mom sent me for my school fees and my house.
So the lady at your back who was crying because it was her cry that got me alerted that something was happening. Who was the lady to you?
The lady is my elder sister.
Okay.
In the first place.
How are you, my sister? Please, in brief or briefly, can you narrate what happened this morning? Sharp.
We're going to Tradeau. They want to go and pay his school fees and he's looking for the house to rent. So he took me from my shop. My shop is at opposite Agricolope Junction. Yeah. So on our way to Tradeau, we saw those CCU office. They were pumping the car with organized at the opposite.
Because Nigeria can happen to you just anywhere at any time. It's only maybe 1 out of 1,000 of their victims a day makes it to the internet. And then you have a chance of possibly hearing the story and you'll be like, God damn it, man. It is a place where dog eats dog. Their policemen, their military, even their paramilitary, the civil defense corps, they are poorly paid. I'm talking about poorly paid. So it's the citizens that will bear the brunt. And right now in Nigeria, the only language that majority of them speaks right now is money. And just anyhow, anybody can extort you. And for those ones who have guns, well, they just have to apply some forces, some force in order to extort you. They do stop and search everywhere you turn. It is not because they want to stop crime. You know, like they will tell you that police have the right to search. Then on the other hand, they will say, no, police doesn't have any right to search your phone. Well, their modus operandi, searching you, is mostly not because they want to end any crime or they are investigating any crime. No. It's basically just to find something and then extort you for it. So if you have money to pay them, you pay. And if you don't, maybe you just end up being a bad market. Some people have become so unlucky that they just have to rope them into something, lock them up, put their family members in the serious problems of looking for money to come and bribe them. This is what it is like every day. But you see, those who have not been their victim or not their present victims may think you are possibly overreacting somehow. It is a dangerous place, put it that way. Because it is a society where even when other people are seeing you being harassed, being threatened by these armed, uniformed criminals, they just tend to want to mind their own business. They will be walking around and walking away like it is none of their business. So you just realize that you are on your own. And that may be one traumatizing experience that you're going to have from the people who are supposed to actually provide security, support, help for you. You are supposed to be able to walk to the NSCDC or walk straight to the police men on the road and ask for help and say, please, officer, I'm trying to look for so and so, and a police officer will assist you. That is not in Nigeria. You walk to them, you walk into trouble, because what they are looking, once they look at you and they size you, then the next thing that is going to be going on in their head is going to be how to extort you. So NSCDC too. It's unfortunate, isn't it? While the real thieves actually celebrate like tomorrow no day.
I
It's unbelievable. Earlier today, when Shore was at the magistrate court in Lagos, so he saw some group of Nigerians awaiting trial. They're called. Some of them have been on awaiting trial for years. Okay, and these exchanges took place. It is a contraption, guys.
The people who supposed to for prison for this country and those who waiting for government.
But you look familiar, you look like Sowore.
Yeah, I mean. Kirikiri na come from. Kirikiri have been out. The people who supposed to for prison for this country and those who waiting for government.
But you look familiar, you look like Sowore.
Yeah, I mean.
People who are supposed to be in prison, now them they government. True. The people that are supposed to be in prison, they are the ones in your government. They are the ones being protected by the poorly paid security agents or officials, and that is the contraption for you. Now let's take a little break. You see, this takes me back to that Mofo Olufemi or whatever he called himself, right? If you ask for a job and you are unable to do the job, you see, the honorable thing is for you to resign. If Tifnumbu cannot keep you safe, the right thing and the honorable thing is for him to resign. But a typical Nigerian is like, no, that's not possible. How can you say he should resign? Resign about, you know, everybody it's his own turn. Ain't go making chop, waiting one chop. Everybody go find their levels. But they do celebrate when they read it in the news that some leaders or one person resigned as a leader of his own country. You know what I mean? Take, for instance, African Wahala, your own Prime Minister, Justin Tradeau, yeah, the leader of the Liberal Party of Canada, who has been in power for how many years now? I think he's been in power for about 7 years or so. Is it up to 7 or 6? Tradeau. Now, his own public rating has plummeted so much that when he came to power in Canada, right, his public rating was put at somewhere around the 69%, which means 69% Canadians actually wanted him. Today, this Tradeau guy, Justin, is public rating in Canada today is hovering around 29% to 32%. He personally knows that he has now become a burden for his own political party, that they will lose in any election if they should call for election right now in Canada. What did he do? He threw in the towel. Not become so greedy, self-centered, what do you call it? Aggrandizement or so. It's no. So what did he do? He threw in the towel and said, well, you know what? I can't really lead you to an election, or else we'll be trounced. And that is making the news this afternoon, early this morning in Canada.
So I thought it might be fun for us to do this again. Bon matin. Every morning I've woken up as Prime Minister. I've been inspired by the resilience, the generosity, and the determination of Canadians. It is the driving force of every single day I have the privilege of serving in this office. That is why, since 2015, I've fought for this country, for you, to strengthen and grow the middle class. Why we rallied to support each other through the pandemic, to advance reconciliation, to defend free trade on this continent, to stand strong with Ukraine and our democracy, and to fight climate change and get our economy ready for the future. We are at a critical moment in the world. Mes chers Canadiens, à chaque matin,
every morning, I've woken up as Prime Minister, and I've been inspired by the resiliency and the generosity and the determination that characterizes Canadians. This is what has driven me on a daily basis, and it's been a privilege to be Prime Minister. This is why, since 2015, I fought for this country, for you, Canadians, to strengthen the middle class. That's why Canadians mobilized to support each other during the pandemic, to move reconciliation forward, to defend free trade on our continent, and to support Ukraine and democracy, and to fight against climate change as well, and to prepare the economy for the future. We're really going through a critical time in world history.
My friends, as you all know, I'm a fighter. Every bone in my body has always told me to fight because I care deeply about Canadians, I care deeply about this country, and I will always be motivated by what is in the best interest of Canadians. And the fact is, despite best efforts to work through it, Parliament has been paralyzed for months after what has been the longest session of a minority parliament in Canadian history. That's why this morning I advised the Governor-General that we need a new session of Parliament. She has granted this request, and the House will now be prorogued until March 24th. Over the holidays, I've also had a chance to reflect and have had long talks with my family about our future. Throughout the course of my career, any success I have personally achieved has been because of their support and with their encouragement. So last night over dinner, I told my kids about the decision that I'm sharing with you today. I intend to resign as party leader, as Prime Minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process. Last night, I asked the President of the Liberal Party to begin that process. This country deserves a real choice in the next election, and it has become clear to me that if I'm having to fight internal battles, I cannot be the best option in that election.
Did you hear that? I cannot be the best option. Canadians who have been under the government of Justin Tradeau for 9 years, it's been 9 years old, since 2015, right? They will agree. Say, well, you should have been gone. Some will say it should have been gone by like a year or two ago. That he only stayed this long. But when he realized that him staying even any much longer would not only affect Canada, so it will not only affect his own party's chances in Canada, it will affect the country as well. It is un-African, we agree. So it is something that those of you who want us to advise the failing criminals in charge of Nigeria, the only advice you can give to them, is not by giving excuses for them. The only advice you can give to them is what? Is for them to kind of like, bow out, ease out. You've ruined this contraption. You've destroyed this country. You've destroyed these people. You've impoverished them. But you are giving yourself medals. Medals that you have done well. That if not because of you, things would have been worse. Things are worse already. An economy of $572 billion 10 years ago. Today is less than $180 billion. And the inflation has eaten so deep into people's, into people's wallet that their lives have become so halved, if not quartered. But yet you are kind of like telling yourselves that you're doing well, writing budgets that continue to buy yourself cars. Imagine they spent in 2024, right? They spent 8 billion naira renovating the Aso Rock. In 2023, they spent 5 billion naira renovating the Aso Rock. In 2024, they spent 4 billion naira renovating a house for shitty man in Lagos. In that same 2024, they spent 21 billion naira completing a mansion for shitty man. He hasn't lived in that mansion till now. The one that with the wicked spent 21 billion. Oh. Meanwhile, the Aguda house, where he supposed officially lives, right? They spent another 6 billion naira renovating that in 2024. In 2025, they want to spend another 4 billion to renovate Aguda house. They want this 21 billion house where they just built for shitty man. In 2025 budget, they want to spend 7 billion naira to renovate the house. Papa house where they just completed last year. Tifnumbu is planning to also spend 9.5 billion naira on travel, food in 2025. In 2024, he spent over 8 billion on that. But when it comes to the people, they want you to adjust. And the opposition, Shaise. Listen to an opposition in Canada.
Good day. Canadians desperate to turn the page on this dark chapter in our history might be relieved today that Justin Trudeau is finally leaving. But what has really changed? Every Liberal MP in power today and every potential Liberal leadership contender fighting for the top job helped Justin Trudeau break the country over the last 9 years. All Liberal politicians actively worked to pass into law the job-killing inflationary carbon tax, a tax that Carbon Tax Carney endorsed in his book. All supported a law quadrupling the tax over the next 5 years. All voted for or actively supported Trudeau's out-of-control spending, debt, and immigration. All passed Trudeau's housing policies that doubled the cost of homes. All Liberal politicians helped pass catch-and-release bail and house arrest for the most rampant reoffenders. Policies that increased violent crime 50%, gun crime 116%, and hate crime by 250%. So given that Liberal MPs and leadership contenders unanimously supported everything Trudeau has done, why dump him now, right before an election? Have they had a change of heart? Is it because they feel guilty that they doubled housing costs, hiked taxes, unleashed crime, broke immigration, forced a quarter of the population into poverty? No. They continued supporting Trudeau when he did all of those things. No, their only objection is that he is no longer popular enough to win an election and keep them in power. They want to protect their pensions and paycheck by sweeping their hated leader under the rug months before an election to trick you and then do it all over again. Now, while leaderless Liberals focus on saving their jobs and fighting each other for power, the country spirals out of control, an out-of-control housing emergency, an out-of-control migrant crisis, an out-of-control $62 billion deficit, not to mention tariff threats from the United States. Oh, and another NDP Liberal carbon tax hike kicks in this April 1st. Everything's out of control, and now the government is out of control. This cannot go on. We need a carbon tax election now to choose between the NDP Liberal costly coalition that taxes your food, punishes your work, doubles your housing costs, and unleashes crime and drugs in your community, or common sense Conservatives who will axe the tax, build the homes, fix the budget, and stop the crime. Canadians can take back control of their lives and their country. Take back control of our border. Take back control of immigration. Take back control of spending, deficits, and inflation. Take back control of our streets by locking up criminals, banning drugs, treating addiction, and stopping gun smugglers. We'll cap spending, axe taxes, reward work, build homes, uphold family, stop crime, secure...
Wow, like that. So I picked up that video as a reaction from the supposed main opposition, the African Wahala. I think that is your own conservative party in Canada. Is like a model after Donald Trump, the kind of conservatism or so, right? Anyway, it seems that he is going to possibly be the one to form the next government in Canada. If the permutation of the Labour and the Liberal and the rest of them in Canada with Tradeau should fail in your next election, I think, right? Anyway, that's an opposition way of doing the Western way of being opposition in politics, okay? Where when it is time for you to tighten the rope in the neck of the failing people in government, you tighten it with no mercy. You grab it in such a way